Hey everybody, it's CJ and welcome to another episode of Objection Crime Chatter. How's everyone doing today or tonight? We are going to be delving into the mommy mastermind case, the plot to kill Dan Markel. And so we're going to be going over the initial plot. This is a 10-year-old case that is going to trial in a couple of weeks. And it's one that has so many twists and turns. And so, yeah, we're just going to go ahead. Oh, at the beach. Thank you. Good evening. I thought I was going to be solo. I know that there was so many live streams today. We just did a 3.5-hour live stream with Leanne Newton. If y'all don't follow Leanne, her channel, I think it's Leanne Newton 57. It's I forget the numbers behind it. But I was on her channel. She did a motion to quash in the Blake Lively Ryan Reynolds case. And so yeah, we did a 3.5-hour live. CJ has been live all day. Oh, there she is, Christina. I went right into it, huh? I started late. I was supposed to start at 8:15. If you can link Leanne's live stream or her channel. Yeah, she's involved in the civil case of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. She was a creator who was subpoenaed, and she went over her motion to quash in a live. And I was, I was there for moral support and to go over it with her. And yeah, it was really powerful. It was, yeah, she said at the beach, that was powerful. Yeah, it was a great writing. If you're like a legal nerd like me and love good writing, you can go ahead and catch that stream. It's there in the chat. So we're gonna go into this case, the mommy mastermind case. Like I said, it's question mark. So kind of what I want to do with this channel and what we've been doing is kind of presenting the cases. And obviously, I have my little ticker this time. I always forget to put it up first, but it's for entertainment purposes, allegedly. Like seriously, don't sue me. And I love the idea of what we did yesterday with the case where, we kind of went over the case, and in the end, we asked the chat, do you think this person, do they seem guilty? Do they seem not guilty? Does it just seem messy? Like, are you in the middle? Wait till trial. Obviously, everyone here that we discuss is innocent until proven guilty. But I thought it'd be fun to do that with the chat because this case has so many twists and turns. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into it because I know it's late. For some of you on the East Coast, it's 9:20. PST is still a little early, but if most of my crowd is a lot of the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds crowd, and it was a busy day today for us. There was a lot going on. So let me just pull this. Let me pull this, share the screen. So we're going to start telling the story like we usually do. We're going to start telling the story through an article like we normally do. And so here we go. I'm just going to scroll through it and read it with you guys. This is from People Magazine. Was Wendy Adelson involved in the murder for hire plot of her ex-husband? Inside Dan Markel's killing and where she is now. So we're going to start with the two main players before we get to Donna Adelson, who is, the mom. It's Wendy Adelson's mom. We're going to start at the very beginning for y'all because this case is 10 years old. It says Wendy Adelson's ex-husband, Dan Markel, was murdered in his garage on July 18, 2014. So 11 years old now, as of the 18th, as of a couple of days ago. And so this case took a long time to get through trials, and you'll see how many twists and turns it takes. It's, one of the cases that has had me at the edge of my seat since it began. So it says this is Daniel Markel and Wendy Adelson, and then this is her testifying during the first murder trial. Over a decade after Dan Markel was murdered at his Florida home, his ex-wife Wendy Adelson and her family are at the center of the fallout. The Canadian-born Florida state law professor was murdered by a contract killer in Tallahassee, Florida on July 18th, 2014. And his ex wife has long been called a conspirator in the case, despite never being charged. So you'll see how perhaps she may be the last player after Donna Adelson's trial, which is coming up in August. So that's why we're going over this case. Wendy and Dan married in 2006 and had two sons, Benjamin and Lincoln. The pair separated in 2012 after Wendy took their children to her parents' house in South Florida while Dan was away on a business trip, per ABC. They went through a contentious divorce in 2013 and were granted joint custody with Bendy being required with Bendy with Wendy being required by a judge to keep the children in Tallahassee, despite allegedly wanting to move closer to her family. Now we're going to go into another case next week, the Stamping Up Harris, Shayna Gardner, which is very similar to this case. And, the same thing that happens when there's tension and shared custody. Some people just can't share custody, and things get crazy enough to want to unalive somebody. So I'm really looking forward to the other case that's really similar. Shortly after these proceedings, Dan was shot and killed in his garage. A years-long investigation found that multiple people were involved in the conspiracy to murder him. Wendy's brother Charlie was allegedly behind it all, getting connected to Sigfrido Garcia by his former girlfriend, Catherine McBanu. In turn, Garcia allegedly enlisted the help of his childhood friend, Luis Rivera, in the killing. All four have been convicted, but the case did not stop there because in 2023, Wendy and Charlie's mom, Donna Adelson, was charged with the same crimes as her son: first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder. Despite her family members being embroiled in the murder case, Wendy has maintained that she had no involvement in Dan's killing and has never been charged. So here's everything we need to know now. Let me check the chat and see. At the beach said didn't realize that. Oh, that I'd been on live all day. Okay, so let's continue then. Who was Dan Markel? After being raised in Toronto, Canada, Dan Markel graduated from Harvard University. So here he is. Justice for Dan, okay? Because he just wanted to be a dad. Like, seriously. And that's why I like reporting on these cases or talking about them, because we don't talk enough about, the victims when we're doing true crime. But part of the reason why we report on the stories is also to get the voice of the victims out there, because, they're not here anymore. So it's also to spread their story. So this is Dan Markel. He graduated from Harvard University, earned his master's degree in political theory at the University of Cambridge, and returned to Harvard to obtain his law degree. Dan became a prominent law professor at Florida State University, as well as a radio commentator and author. And he wrote for outlets like The Atlantic and the New York Times. He was living in Washington, D.C. when he met Wendy on the Jewish dating app JDate, per Jewish Tampa. The couple wed in Boca Raton, Florida on February 26, 2006, and had two sons, Benjamin, born in 2009, and Lincoln, born in 2010, before separating in 2012. So they were married for about 6 years. On July 18, 2014, Daniel was found shot in the head at his Tallahassee home. That morning, he had brought his children to preschool and went to the gym. Dan was sitting in his garage talking on his phone when he was shot at point blank range, and he died in the hospital early the next morning. He was 41. So this is Wendy Adelson, his wife. Wendy's a lawyer, professor, and child advocate who grew up in Coral Springs, Florida. She graduated from Brandeis University before earning her master's degree in international relations from Cambridge and her law degree from the University of Miami. She also published a novel, This Is Our Story, in 2011. So that reminds me of Corey Richens. Oh, no, this is before his death, 2011. So she was an author, because there's another case we're going to cover, the Corey Richens case, where she wrote a novel after she unalived her husband, and it was pretty ironic. It was like When Daddy Goes to Heaven or something like that. Around 2 years after Dan's murder, she enrolled in a writing class that had a related podcast on which she discussed his death. Oh, so there you have it. I only found out this information when the police picked me up from a lunch date I was having with two girlfriends and insisted that I come back to the station, and then interrogated me for 8 hours. because it's usually the ex-wife, she said on the podcast. Wendy added, he died violently and young and likely at the hands of a professional killer, and the media had a field day in response. I turned on the TV to find photos of my children with Nancy Grace, George Stephanopoulos saying my name in reference to our, quote, acrimonious divorce. And a picture my friend took when I was her maid of honor showed as evidence of why I should be treated as a murder suspect and not the mother of two fatherless boys. Well, the case that I'm talking about with the Stamping Up Harris, she also went to the media and gave interviews, and now they've got her locked up. So, um, just everybody's obviously innocent until proven guilty, but a lot of people are anticipating that maybe after Donna Adelson's trial, Wendy will get picked up. But I'm getting ahead of myself because there's so much to the story. But okay, so it says, when did Dan Markel and Wendy Adelson divorce? According to a criminal affidavit in the case, Dan had reportedly returned home from a business trip in September 2012 to find his family gone, a majority of the contents of the house missing, and the paperwork for dissolution of marriage displayed on his bed. The pair went through a contentious divorce that was settled in July 2013 without a trial. Wendy and Dan were granted joint custody, and after their split, a judge ruled that she could not move her children out of Tallahassee. In 2014, Daniel filed motions against Wendy, claiming she misrepresented financial assets and took his great aunt's 2-carat rings. He also filed a motion against Wendy's mother, Donna, to prevent her from spending time alone with their children. So I don't know exactly why he didn't want the mom to spend time alone, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with, right here. He claimed Donna had made disparaging remarks about him to his sons. Yep. According to a 2016 probable cause affidavit obtained by People. At the time of his death, Dan was waiting for a hearing to be set on that motion, the motion to prevent Donna from spending time alone with the children. He was just annoyed that her family was meddling. He thought in the divorce. Colleague and law professor Fernando Tizon told People in 2017 of Dan, but I never sensed that he was fearful. So he was just like, oh, the family's meddling, they're making me look bad, but he never thought they'd be capable of anything. Why did Wendy Adelson's family allegedly want her to move to South Florida? So here you see Donna Sue Adelson. This is who we're talking about today, Mommy Dearest, Wendy's mom. The push for Wendy and her kids to move to Miami allegedly came from Donna. Investigators believe the motive for this murder stemmed from the desperate desire of the Adelson family to relocate Wendy and the children to South Florida, along with the pending court hearing that might have impacted their access to the children, the 2016 affidavit stated. The documents, which also reveal the alleged link between the Adelsons and the killers, added email evidence indicates Wendy's parents, especially her mother, had wanted Wendy to coerce Markel into allowing the relocation to South Florida. Additionally, Wendy's brother Charles reportedly did not like Markel and did not get along with him. After Dan's death, Wendy moved with her sons to Miami per Florida politics. She changed her sons' last names to Adelson, and she testified that she did this to avoid media scrutiny. And she denied Daniel's parents, Phil and Ruth Markel, access to their grandchildren. And that's, again, this is so similar to the Stamping Up Harris case. Shayna Gardner is her name, and it's so similar because they also stopped granting access to the grandchildren after the dad was unalived. After years of petitioning, the Markel Act was passed in Florida to give grandparents more visitations right in the state. In an October 2019 testimony, Wendy's and I think this, really quick, this is why that other case, the Shayna Gardner case, this is how I believe the grandparents ended up with visitation after they fought it. Was because of this law. So this is really important law that passed to avoid, things like this. In an October 2019 testimony, Wendy's ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Lacoste, said that she was quite bitter that she couldn't move her children. But in her testimony 1 month prior, Wendy told jurors that she had been happy in Tallahassee and happy with her job at FSU. So her boyfriend kind of threw her under the bus during the testimony for her brother. So who was the mastermind of Dan Markel's murder? So here we have Donna Adelson. We have Charlie Adelson, who's the brother. And then we have Dan Markel. So we got a couple more people here in the chat. Thank you guys so much for your support. I always say that my Roman empires is what I report on, and so that's kind of one of the things that I got back into the true crime because these cases are coming up and they're kind of my Roman empire. So I like hanging out with people and just seeing like what they're doing. Um, how long ago did this take place? And you've been live all day. It took place 10 years ago, but you know what? It's still relevant today because it's taking that long to get justice. There's been 3 trials, uh, 4 different suspects already in jail. Donna Adelson will be 5, and then everybody thinks, and we'll see what you guys think. If y'all think Wendy might be next, are you doing dinner? Time for dinner time, crime crew. Yes. Um, so Khaleesi's here. Yeah, perfect to listen to while you cook. Well, for true crime, like true crime lovers. Yeah, I really like talking about it. I'm like, should I do a true crime podcast where it's just me talking it? But I also like pulling up the pictures and stuff. Sad for the kids, yes, at the beach. It is. It's sad for the kids. Yeah, there are grandparents' rights now, Christina. Like I said, because of that Florida law. Uh, why she wasn't allowed to move the kids? What was the language in the paperwork? Because that's what they had agreed to, and the judge had signed off that, they were gonna stay there because that's where he had his job. So I think that's why, there was an agreement. Usually in divorce, they usually have a clause like that from what I've seen is like you can't move the kids out of state. I think it's just so that the kids, don't have to like what happens if one parent wants to go out of state and then the other parent has to travel. But yeah, I don't know where to access these documents, but Khaleesi, I'll link the actual because you're a legal nerd like me, you like to read. I'll link the docs at the bottom. There's a lot of them because there was so many different trials, but I'll link the relevant ones. Um, it's great reporting on things you love. Yes. And for me, it's just like this case is so crazy. Like sometimes this still keeps me up at night because I'm like, when we get to the jail calls, y'all, like on the post to X, when I posted this to X, I put like this might be an episode of America's Dumbest Criminals. You'll see why. Crazy, but lots of people involved. Hey, Kenny. Yay, we got Kenny. I love the pictures, but you can just listen when busy, so I think it's the perfect combo. Yeah. I was curious. This is how I listened to This is how I listened to Ashley's this morning because I was making eggs, and so I was just listening to her, and she's got the prettiest voice, so it was nice to just be able to listen to her. I was curious because I've had divorce and requests of modification to custody. Oh, okay. Um, Yeah, I wonder why she didn't just request maybe because she knew that, he wouldn't say hi. I mean, say hi. I read hi from Kenny. Kenny's greeting the chat. Um, because he wouldn't approve it. Maybe that's why they didn't file a motion, but, like, come on, y'all, like, it's not worth unaliving someone. Like, if it doesn't work out, I get it. Co-parenting is hard, but it's not worth going through all this. Like, the whole family's involved. Other people who, did it for money were involved, and it's just crazy. So let's continue because I want to get to the super crazy parts of it. Okay, here we go. I don't know. Hold on. I think I'm freezing up. What's wrong with the computer? Okay, here we go. Wendy's brother Charlie is also considered by law enforcement to be the mastermind of the murder for hire plot. At the time of the murder, he was a wealthy Florida periodontist who shared a dentistry practice with his father. The theory took hold when Wendy's ex, Lacaze, claimed to investigators that in the summer of 2013, Charlie had looked into hiring a hitman for $15,000. During her testimony in 2019, Wendy acknowledged that Charlie gifted her a television and joked to him that buying a TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman. And so a lot of people think that this was like code words because later on he's like, "Oh, did you get the TV set or something like that?" And that's how they kind of got caught too, was with the keywords. At the time of Dan's death, Charlie was dating Catherine McBonu, who allegedly connected Charlie to the men who murdered his brother-in-law. So Catherine ends up being her baby daddy. She ends up recruiting her baby daddy. So think about like all that had to be like go into it. Charlie's dating Catherine. Catherine has a baby daddy. She tells her baby daddy, like, hey, you want to make some money. The baby daddy reaches out to his childhood friend to be like, hey, you want to make some money. And then they both travel to Florida to unalive this man for money. And then Catherine and the other, her baby daddy and his friend all end up, they're all in jail right now. As well. It says in late 2023, Charlie was convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 60 years for the solicitation. But Charlie isn't the only Adelson family member to be implicated in the murder. After his conviction, his and Wendy's mother, Donna, received the same charges as her son. She was arrested at the Miami-Dade International Airport in November 2023. She and her husband, Harvey Adelson, were about to board a flight to Vietnam. State Attorney Jack Campbell told the Tallahassee Democrat. Campbell alleged that Donna was trying to flee the country. So here is who was convicted. Here they are: Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanu, and Sigfrido Garcia. So this is the baby. No, this is the baby daddy, Sigfrido. And then Catherine, that was Charlie's girlfriend at the time. And then this is his childhood friend. So 4 people were connected in Dan's murder, including Charlie. According to prosecutors, he had Magbanua, who had worked at the family dental practice, hire her children's father, Sigfrido Garcia, to pull the trigger. Prosecutors claim that Garcia then enlisted his childhood friend, alleged Latin Kings member Luis Rivera, to help with the crime. In exchange for testifying against Magbanu and Garcia, Rivera pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and is serving a 19-year sentence in Arizona. So he's saying like a bird. He's like, I'm about to just throw everybody under the bus. Lead prosecutor Georgia Kappelman alleged that Rivera had provided the gun and drove while Garcia committed the murder. So it was because he basically was just the getaway driver. And provided the gun. In his testimony against Garcia, Rivera said, we're going to kill the man for some kids, for a lady, because the lady wants her kids back. So that's what he was like, this is what we're going to go do. Like, imagine, like, you pick your friend up and it's like, hey, let's go. Like, we're going to go help this lady get her kids back. Like, it's insane. It's literally insane. He also claimed Wendy paid for the hit and said Magbanu connected all of them. Garcia was sentenced to life in prison in 2019 plus 30 years for conspiracy, while Magbanu received the same sentence as Charlie. Donna was first scheduled to stand trial in September 2024, but it was abruptly postponed due to conflicts of interest. Her new trial is scheduled to start in June 2025, which this article was written before because it got moved and it's starting in about two weeks, I think, in August. I think it's on the 6th. How was Wendy Adelson allegedly involved in the murder of her ex-husband? Let me pause for just a regular day. We're just going to go and, help this woman out with her kids. Oh, Christina, that's so sweet. You had the best co-parenting relationship. Oh, until he royally messed up. And now I don't have to worry. Well, that's good. When it works out that way. Sounds like it may have been in the initial paperwork. So sad. Yeah, it might have been. Don't call me for a criming. Khaleesi. I love it. Okay, so I love pausing and reading the chat because you guys are so funny. Okay, how was Wendy Adelson allegedly involved in the murder of her ex-husband? And there's nothing funny because it's murder, but it's just like, it's so insane. It's like, I used to watch that show, The America's Dumbest Criminals, because when it's just insane how, like, you'll see what I mean when we get into the jail phone calls. Wendy had long maintained that she was not involved in her ex-husband's murder, but prosecutors have called her a conspirator. In September, and this is why I still think that it's like the last piece of the puzzle left that they're going to get her after Donna's trial. In September 2019, she testified she had no knowledge of the conspiracy plot, though she admitted to knowing some of her family members had been angry with Dan during the divorce. During questioning, Wendy was asked about her immunity. Her testimony could not be used against her, but would not stop the state from being able to charge her. And if she believed she might one day be arrested, Wendy responded, the state isn't going to decide to arrest me. So she was confident. And there is a possibility that, they all acted alone. But I think it's really telling how immediately after she changed the kid's last name, moved him out of state, like, I don't know, it seems like if you weren't along with it, but maybe she didn't know then. I don't know. Lacassi testified in October 2019 that he and Wendy had a chilling conversation 5 days before Dan's death. Oh, so this is where the ex-boyfriend comes in. He and Wendy were going through their own breakup at the time. Yeah, she said Charlie had explored all options to take care of the problem, and Charlie suggested having Professor Markel killed. So her ex-boyfriend basically said she was involved or insinuated. So it says, where is she now? Wendy and her two sons now live in South Florida, and she continues to maintain that, she was not involved. She left the FSU Law School faculty in 2015, and for a time she worked as executive director of the Immigration Partnership and Coalition Fund. As of January 2025, she's listed on the website for the St. Michael's Legal Center for Women and Children, so she's working with kids based in Miami Beach. According to the Florida bar, she's still a member in good standing, and she's still a lawyer. So again, the ticker says entertainment purposes only and speculation, allegedly. Her husband's case has made national news for over a decade, was featured on Dateline 2020 and People Magazine Investigates, Investigation Discovery, all our favorite channels, y'all, and was the subject of season 1 of Wondery's true crime podcast, Over My Dead Body. So if you guys want like the super deep dive into all the details, because there was crazy details from, the car ride with Luis and Sigfrido, like all those details, like this was just kind of like a summary, but even like the stuff about the TV with Charlie Adelson, where they were using code words, text each other and email each other. In a statement to the Tallahassee Democrat in 2019 through her attorney, Adelson said, our boys and I continue to mourn Danny's loss for each day of the 5 long years since he was taken from us. So yeah, go check out that Wondery True Crime podcast, Over My Dead Body. It might be a good one to check out for like all the, I like Wondery's stuff too. They have good content there. If you guys want a deep dive, that might be a good one to listen to. Let's see. Humor's a way to deflect emotions that are overwhelming you. I know. I'm like, what? How could this happen? I think I laugh when I just can't believe something. I'll just start laughing. Yeah, like wanting to unalive someone you used to love and as a parent of your child. I find it very selfish. Yeah. And I guess her parents never really liked it. Yeah, this is a great Blake from all the Blake stuff. Yeah, I was really busy with the Blake stuff today. And I agree with you that, yeah, it's a nice little break. So we're going to move on to, let's see, is it this slide? Let me just look. I got to find no, that's her throwing out the testimony. Okay, it's this one. My computer, I don't know if it's just, I'm getting a little ring of death here. That little rainbow ring. Okay, can y'all see this one? For some reason, everything's like in super slow-mo. Where humor was mandatory just to get through the day. Okay, so we're going to go through this. I pulled it up on Perplexity so I could give you guys a rundown of Donna Adelson and why she was arrested, which here we go. We're getting into the phone calls, the America's Dumbest Criminals part. Donna Adelson, age 73. So imagine she's 73 years old. Like, was it worth it? Was it really worth it? You don't even get to spend time with your grandkids. Would it have not been easier for you and Charlie to move to Tallahassee? Donna? Just saying. Okay. Was arrested in November 2023 at Miami International Airport. If y'all saw the thumbnail, that's why I did the little like fake ticket. While attempting to board a flight to Vietnam with a one-way ticket. This occurred just days after her son, Charlie Adelson, was convicted in the murder-for-hire plot that resulted in the killing of her former son-in-law, Dan Markel, a Florida State University law professor. Authorities described her as a participant in the plot and highlighted the destination, Vietnam, as a country without an extradition treaty with the United States, raising suspicions about her intentions. And so at the end, we're going to also ask, it's not just guilty, not guilty, just messy. We're going to also ask, vacation or fleeing? So we're going to ask whether or not that Vietnam trip was a vacation or if she was actually fleeing. Her husband was with her and also had a ticket, but was not charged or detained. Donna's attorney claimed that she was not fleeing prosecution, but instead planned to return to the United States after several months. But remember, the ticket was one way. which, okay, let's just say she didn't know when she was coming back, because at this time she was going through a stressful time because her son had just gone to jail, right? At the time of her airport arrest, there was no warrant out for her, but prosecutors had made public statements after her son's conviction, leading her to anticipate imminent arrest. So they had kind of dropped little Easter eggs. So here we go, y'all. Jail phone calls. In weeks prior to her arrest, authorities recorded jailhouse phone calls between Donna and her son Charlie, who was incarcerated following his conviction. These calls were conducted via the Leon County Jail's phone system. And as everybody knows, what do we know? Which announced at the start of each call that conversations are being recorded and required the parties to consent before proceedings. If y'all followed the Blake Lively Ryan Reynolds case, this is what Andy was doing. When he called, I don't know why it just reset. This is what Andy was doing when he called the Manat law offices. He told them, hey, this call's being recorded, and they try to say, oh, it was criminal or whatever, but no, he let her know that it was being recorded, and she continued the conversation. So this is where the America's Dumbest Criminal part also comes in, because y'all, like, jail calls, everybody knows jail calls are recorded. So not only is this just like a known thing, they also tell you when you call or when you receive a collect call from the jail, it tells you this call is recorded. I don't know how many times I want to say that, but I want to keep saying it. It was recorded. One key incident involved Donna speaking to Charlie on November 7th, 2023. During the roughly 25-minute call, and we're going to play 2 minutes of it here, okay? Charlie's line disconnected early, as was common with the jail's phone system. But rather than hanging up, Donna continued speaking to others in the house, making several notable and incriminating statements. So in her defense, she thought it was hung up, and it wasn't. But she also did make incriminating statements directly to Charlie while on the call. And that's what we're going to listen to. But it says, discussing countries that lacked extradition treaties with the United States, including specifically referencing Vietnam, expressing concerns about being targeted by authorities, and discussing what to do with personal documents and her wills, mentioning that she felt extorted and talking about the possibility of harming herself, revealing that she did not realize the call was still being recorded after her son disconnected. So at some point she finds out and she's like, oh my gosh, like, was it recording? She starts freaking out, right? So before we get into the legal rulings of the call, I wanted to pull up the calls. No way, this is wild. Yes, Christina. Yep. Everyone's like, we're taking a mandatory break from the Blake stuff. Yeah. Khaleesi's like, I didn't know that because I don't crime. Y'all are cracking me up in the chat. Oh, hey, just Snoopy, you just joined us for the best part. Is the jail phone calls. Hey there, yeah. Hey everyone. Who had a game? What game? Oh, Victoria! At a ball game? A T-ball game. Oh. Yeah, catch up on the story because it's insane. Well, congrats. I hope she won. I know that Nag, not actually Golden, complains about the baseball games. I don't know if the T-ball games are just as bad. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the chat. I just want to see what all y'all yapping about. Okay, I think I caught up. Khaleesi, I'm new to this. Well, now you know that if somebody calls you collect from the jailhouse, it's being recorded. Hopefully, you never have that experience. You don't hang out with crimings. What did you say? Let's go criming. Beautiful place to flee. Vietnam. I've never been. And I don't think I've ever seen any pictures of what Vietnam looks like. I mean, is it beaches and stuff? Somebody in the chat. What is it? Is it like oceany? Is it? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen. All I know about Vietnam is Forrest Gump and the rain and the. I know. I should now look up Vietnam as a destination. Yes, receiving calls, Khaleesi. Because at the jail, they can't call. I don't think you can call into the jail, can you? I I think most of the jail calls are outgoing. I don't think you can just call and be like, "Hey, can you go get Charlie?" I don't think it goes like that, but yeah, receiving the phone call. The city or the islands? Oh, it must be really pretty. Oh, you know what? I might have seen Vietnam. Angelina Jolie adopted a child from there, so maybe I have seen Vietnam before. Vietnam is beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. So maybe she was just going on vacation. Mind blown. Khaleesi, dang those calls. Yeah, no, for reals. Okay, so I want y'all to listen to this because this is crazy. Let me pull up the call. I wish it wasn't so slow. It's like literally when I click a window. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. There's Dan Markel again. For those just joining, this is Dan Markel, who was the victim. Rest in peace, Dan.
A decade ago.
Can y'all hear it? Let me see. Did y'all hear that? Okay, if y'all can't hear, let me know, okay? Because I've been having trouble with audio with videos.
Do I want to go to sleep and not see my son? I do. Perfectly honest, I do. And what we do it? We'll do it together. Leave a note. They'll know when to come and get us, and we'll do it together.
In recorded phone calls obtained by ABC News, Donna Adelson, Markel's former mother-in-law, can be heard speaking with her son, Charles, who was in jail on November 7th after Charles was convicted and before Donna was taken into custody herself at Miami International Airport on November 13th and accused of trying to flee the country.
We've been looking it up over and over because things change if there is extradition from Vietnam. Because we've looked at all the places. I mean, I could go to Korea and China, but there's no extradition. But
y'all, I could go. Sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing. I think it's just because it's so incredulous. Y'all, I could go to Korea or China, but there's no extradition. Okay, that's why at the end, vacation or fleeing. I mean, maybe we don't have to wait to the end, but okay.
Looking for places where there's no extradition.
Charles sentenced to life in prison Tuesday, guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Donna faces the same charges. She has pleaded not guilty. The 73-year-old appearing in court Monday.
Using sleeping pills.
One moment, Ms. Adelson. Please keep your comments to yourself. Let your lawyer argue on your behalf.
Asking to be removed from suicide watch in jail. Dan Markel was gunned down in his garage in Tallahassee.
I think that's let me just make sure. I think that's it for the yeah, that was it. Okay, hold on. There's a little bit more with the calls, okay, at the end. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Have all this information. I have the cemetery property. I want her to see all that. I want her to have all these papers and the wills. I want her to see all this.
So this is when she's like trying to transfer everything over to Wendy.
While in jail, Charles also called his father, but there were no calls to his sister, Wendy, Dan Markel's ex-wife. She has not been charged and has previously denied any involvement in the crime. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Coral Gables, Florida.
So let me go check the chat real quick and see what y'all thought about that. Y'all think that was incriminating? What the fuck? Khaleesi's like, what the fuck? Just giving them her whole plan on a recorded line. And she gave more, but I couldn't find the transcript of what else was in the other phone. I mean, obviously she was just talking and thinking it had hung up, but I couldn't find a transcript of that part. Oh, is that Shapiro person? No, you know what? I think it's just my laptop has a lot of memory, and because I have a lot of windows lined up, normally I try to save like less than like 10. I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 windows. And maybe because they have video on them. I don't know why it's slow. I think it's just a memory issue. I thought it was Shapiro as well last time, but it was like I would go to like certain websites that took up too much memory. So I think it's also because I have a bunch of Google windows because I lined up all my shows for the next week. I've already have them like all lined up in different Google tabs. So I think it's just too many things open. But like Khaleesi's like mind blown. Oh, I think I already put that one up. She said, that's why I don't crime. I'd be bad at this. You'd say your whole plan on the phone calls. Yeah, this trial is going to be super interesting. I'm telling you, it is. So now let's look at the implications of those calls. Here we go. Donna Adelson's legal team argued that any conversation she had after her son was disconnected from the call should have been considered private and therefore inadmissible. However, the court ruled otherwise because the phone system clearly informed users of recording and the required consent. Donna had prior experience with calls disconnecting from the jail, and her own testimony revealed she typically knew that calls remained active unless she hung up. So what she thought was she was probably on a cell phone, and when he hung up, she thought the call hung up, and it hadn't because she had to hang up. The court found Donna's expectation of privacy was unreasonable. As a result, the content of these calls, including her discussions about countries with extradition treaties and her plans following her son's convictions, were ruled admissible. The jail calls have become the pivotal in the prosecution's case, both as evidence suggesting consciousness of guilt and offering insight into the planning after Charlie's conviction. Because remember, this call was like, I believe, the same day that night or the next day right after he had been convicted of guilty. He had been charged guilty. So she was like, oh gosh, am I next? Because the way that it happened was Luis ratted on Sigfrido, and then Charlie's girlfriend went to trial, and then so all of that had to happen before Charlie went to trial. And so it was through those testimonies and the things, I think Luis got like a plea deal for, flipping, but and then the girlfriend wanted a plea deal later, but it was too late for her. And yeah, so that's why I'm saying that Wendy might be next, because they're like taking one down at a time. I mean, the prosecutors have been phenomenal in this case. So it says the jail calls became pivotal. Prosecutors argue that the calls demonstrate Donna's awareness. So yeah, let me pull up the next tab. Oh, I guess I didn't have it up. Sorry, y'all. That last reading, I didn't have it up, but just like being in a cop car. What was the cop car comment about? At the beach, just like being in a cop car? Okay. I don't know. What did I say about a cop car? I don't remember. Oh, that you're being recorded while you're in a cop car? Yeah, you are. They have a little camera in there. Okay, let me pull up the next part. So she was arrested for those comments, and we're going to show a little piece of the arrest video. Let me add this to the stage. She was arrested on the flight, or right as she was about to board at Miami International Airport. Authorities acted swiftly after her son was convicted. Donna claimed ignorance of any active warrant at the time, stating, "What? I didn't know there was a warrant." But the thing is, there wasn't an active warrant because they hadn't officially put one out. So that's going to be something that the defense is going to point out, and the prosecution is going to have to overcome. Prosecutors allege she intended to avoid prosecution by fleeing to Vietnam, which does not have an extradition treaty with the U.S. Her defense argued that, she wasn't attempted to escape and she planned to return. And so let me pull up that video that I have of where she's trying to explain what happened. Where's that one at? Okay, here we go. So this is her right after she had gotten arrested and picked up during the bond hearing.
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for? In that jail
My
call?
husband and I were literally shocked and traumatized at what had happened to Charlie. And he said, we need to just get some peace. We need to catch our breath. We're going to go away somewhere. And I thought it was a good idea because I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't think straight. I was so upset, and so was he. And it was It was his idea. He said, sweetheart, let's go, just get away. We're gonna just get away somewhere so we could have some time to think.
Okay, so your testimony is that you weren't trying to go to Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there.
So my husband actually had said, you know, we've been to Vietnam before with friends. We were on vacation, and it really was like a place of peace. And so he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We could buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
But why would her husband think that they would be extradited if they didn't do anything?
Okay, but you were hoping to make it out of America in time before you were arrested, right?
I wanted to get away. He wanted to get away. That's what we wanted to do. And it wasn't, we spoke to our attorneys. I asked them, they said there's no pending. We purposely called them to make sure it was legal to do it. And they said there's no, what were their words? There's no pending charges and there's no warrants. So you want to go. And so I thought you asked your attorneys and they tell you that.
So let's consider this for the end on whether, she was following her attorney's advice. There was no warrant yet.
Going.
But Dan did tell you, as you say in the jail call, that knowing what they're thinking up there, I don't know if you'll make it out in time. I really don't. But that he said you might, or you might get to the airport and they'll stop you. It could happen.
That's what he said.
Right.
So that was her lawyers basically saying, like, you could get to the airport and they could get you, or you could make it out. And so why would she fly directly to a non-extradition place? You fly to one that is not first, so they let you leave. I mean, and then it was one way. At least you could explain away a round trip ticket. She emphasized the word "if" a lot. So you guys can decide, if that was believable. She might take the stand in her own defense, considering, you guys saw in that other clip where they were like, let your lawyer talk, because she's trying to intervene and lawyer, which reminds me of the Lori Davallo. I don't know how to say that last name, but you guys know who Lori Daybell. I say Dave. No, it's Lori Vallow Daybell. Is that her last name? Yeah, I think it's Lori Vallow Daybell because she was remarried. She's the lady who unalived her kids and was trying to defend herself, act as her own lawyer. And yeah, her whole thing is on Friday. Her sentencing, I think. So is she lying on the stand? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she is or not. I mean, she's basically saying that her husband told her, let's go to a non-extradited country so that if they do end up wanting to bring us in for questioning, or if we do get an arrest warrant out, we can just buy a ticket and come home. And we don't have to sit in a prison. But they wouldn't be, they wouldn't have to buy a ticket to come home because it's a non-extradition country. So they could just technically stay. So she's saying we would have cooperated, but she had Duper's delight all over her face talking about it. Who knows? So yeah, let's that was her testimony there for the plea hearing. And now we're going to update y'all on what has been going on. We were still going over this part here real quick. I got to reshare the screen. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Did I share it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So these are the charges: first-degree murder, conspiracy, from 2013 to 2016, conspiring with her son and others. And they're saying she was the orchestrator and facilitated the unaliving of Dan Markel. And so that's why we're also asking, was mommy the mastermind, actively soliciting others, including son Charlie? And so that's what they're saying. They're saying that she recruited Charlie, then Charlie recruited Catherine, and then Catherine recruited baby daddy, and then baby daddy recruited Luis. So y'all see how it's like craziest case ever? The conflict centered around a heated custody dispute between Donna's daughter Wendy and Dan Markel. And so that's the motive. The motive is that she wanted Wendy to be able to move to Florida with her. So the key evidence is the jail phone calls, like we said before. The phone call content was discussing the extradition, her plans to flee, and then the stuff that was recorded when the call disconnected. And it just says incriminating details, so that's probably going to come out in the trial. Court ruled that the conversations were admissible. The legal proceedings, she faces her role as the key architect, so that's what they're saying in the murder plot. Her attorneys have unsuccessfully sought to suppress evidence from phone calls and limit testimony from certain witnesses. And so it says the impact of so upcoming trial is scheduled for August 2025. And so, yeah, so let's continue with what is going on now. Behavior panel. Oh, yeah, it might be. I wonder if they do have a behavior panel on Donna Adelson to see what her demeanor is. Super Sarah. Yeah, it's a crazy case, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. And you guys, we're here every night. Normally it's 8 Eastern. We started late today because I was on that stream until really I only had 2 hours in between that and here, so I had to like prep and eat dinner and stuff like that. But normally it's gonna be Monday through Thursday, 8 Eastern, and then we'll do a special episode on Sundays. If I have something on Sundays, but that's when we do the crime chatter. And so I appreciate you, Sarah, for being here. If you're not subscribed already, we do this crime chatter every night, and then we do the celebrity chatter of celebrity legal cases in the mornings. It's been 9 Eastern. I was trying to shoot for 8 Eastern, but haven't really been ready with the show that early. I know on Tuesdays and Thursdays I kind of want to stick to 8 Eastern. But lately we've been starting at 9 Eastern. So why do people incriminate themselves? Like, I mean, in a way though, Victoria, it's good because, we wouldn't have these people in jail if it wasn't for how sloppy they were, How many times do we see cases where people get away with it and, you never get justice? And in the Stampin' Up Harris, the Shayna Gardner case, you'll see how frustrating it was, how long it took. The investigative work that went down in it for all us like legal nerds. When you look at all the police reports and everything from the moment that he was shot, because the Shayna Gardner case, that the dad was also shot outside of his car, which is crazy because I'm like, they're both in Florida, and I'm wondering if Shayna Gardner got the idea from the Wendy Adelson case. People think they'll never get caught and it won't happen to them. Yeah. It's funny how dumb they were, and it really is. One guy was in a gang. He should have known all this. He was in the Latin Kings. Like, I mean, I don't know if he had done time already or what. Because this case was from such a long time ago that I had to like remember all the details. I remember when it first was going, when they just had Sigfrido and Luis, how crazy it was, because for a while nobody knew like what was going on until they caught him. Don't read. Oh, I don't know what that's about. I learned that I shouldn't crime. Yes, Khaleesi. We should make shirts like that. If we do Objection merch, don't crime. No criming, like crime-ing, no criming. Okay, so let's just update y'all as we finish this out with what's going on in the case now. Let me see if I close some of these tabs that I've already done, if it'll speed up for me. So give me just a second here. Oh, we never saw the quick glimpse into the arrest video. Let me do that one real quick. because they're trying to find her phone, and I believe they did end up getting the phone from the dad, her husband. I believe that she tried to like hand him the phone, but I think they did end up getting the phone from him. I want to remember. I should have searched it to see if they did get her phone. Um, hold on, let me see. I think it's this one. So this is one of the latest things that happened. It's July 22nd. So today, actually, it was updated just 4 hours ago. Donna Adelson's attorneys filed new arguments Monday, arguing certain evidence should not be allowed in her murder trial. They already tried to get the phone calls. Adelson's lawyers are asking the judge to block prosecutors from using her attempt to leave the country as evidence of guilt. Prosecutors, though, say her intent to travel to a non-extradited country shows consciousness of guilt, but defense attorneys claim she did not know there was a warrant for her arrest and she would have otherwise been free to travel. But also to consider is that she did talk to her attorney, and then she admitted on the stand that her husband basically was like, well, if we get extradited, so I don't know. It's like, well, you didn't know, but you knew there was a chance. It's giving like the Diddy trial where he knew, where his lawyers were like, oh, he was cooperating and he knew that's why he went to New York. But yet he had like all these drugs and was preparing to freak off. It's like, come on now. The judge previously rejected this request, and it's unclear if or when he'll reconsider. So this is another motion to do it again. Previously, it had been, because remember, this was supposed to go to trial already, and it's been pushed back and pushed back. She's delayed and delayed. So here's the little clip of the video I had pulled up. This is her. Her husband's right next to her. This is the little clip.
Yes. If there's anything else in her person that she wants to.
All right. Do you have her driver's license or insurance?
I'm sorry?
Her driver's license.
It's in my. Yeah.
Wait, did I miss the part where they say, yeah, I think I missed it. They're looking for her phone.
Yeah, they're saying, do you have anything?
This is where they're asking, like, where's your phone at? She's like, I left it.
Yeah, take it off. And the rings, take everything.
And then her husband has to take all the jewelry off her. They would probably.
Once you arrive at County Yale, they're gonna make you remove all that.
So look, he's removing her necklace and everything. I feel sad for the dad. It seems like he wasn't involved with the passport. They're taking it all. So yeah, this is the video that they don't want, and I should have looked it up if they did get her phone. But yeah, she tries to say like, oh, I left it at home. It's like, that's not believable. You're not going to travel to Vietnam and leave your phone at home. So I don't know if they did end up retrieving her phone or not. But yeah, so she wants to suppress that, and there was several reasons where she wanted to delay the case. They try to claim a change of venue. So I'll pull this one up. So that was like the most recent. That's hot off the press 4 hours ago. That was today. She wants to suppress that video. And mind you, there's only a couple weeks left for trial. She tried to delay it, calling it inflammatory, emotional, and pervasive. So for those who follow the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, or Lively Reynolds and Baldoni case, where, she was claiming, the language and the extent. So look, it says Donna Adelson cites extensive media coverage and push for change of venue. So she was saying that, so many people are talking about it, which it's true crime. Of course, people are going to be talking about it. I think change of venue, I don't know. They did do the change of venue for Koberger, which I think it was just more for the university, but it's hard to find someone who doesn't know the cases with social media and the internet and all that stuff. I don't think the change of venue. So she says the hearing lasted 3 hours before concluding before noon. Adelson's defense team claims extensive media coverage of the case, which now dates back 11 years, makes it impossible for her to receive a fair trial here. The media coverage in this case warrants a change of venue. Defense attorney Jackie Fulford and Josh Selman wrote in their motion for a change of venue. Not only has the pretrial publicity been extensive, but it has been inflammatory and prejudicial to Miss Adelson. But it's like, well, you think that outside of Tallahassee, people didn't hear about the trial. I mean, this was, nationwide. I think that, everybody has heard about the Adelson trial. I mean, there might be some people that don't, but, um, I don't know. I just feel like it should be the jury of her peers that, but technically Donna lived in Florida, so shouldn't it be in Florida and not in Tallahassee? I guess because that's where the murder took place. That's where it would be. The defense attorneys announced that if the court decides to defer the ruling or deny the change, they will request additional preemptory challenges. So this is one way that she's been delaying the trial. She's been asking for stuff like, hey, the motion. Submitting motions to kind of delay things. So they're saying she can't receive a fair trial in Leon County. But you never know, because when they moved Koberger's trial, that Judge Hippler was way more transparent, and it actually helped the case to the point where I think the Gonzalez family in the end did say, like, oh, I'm glad that that it was changed, because there was it moved a lot faster and a lot quicker when they were trying to delay the Koberger defense. Basically, they kept getting shut down. So it says, one of the witnesses who testified, Todd Murphy, president of a company called TrueScope North America, whose website describes its AI-powered media intelligence and media monitoring and social media listening among its specialties, testified that a change of venue hearing. He had previously testified in Brian Koberger's case. And so I guess he testified about, the inflammatory language that was being used. Says this is to the extent that the articles were run or they were broadcast in some way. This is really not subject to dispute. It's what is the value of it? I think the arguing point to take judicial notice of the media coverage. And this will probably be televised, because I believe if it is in Tallahassee, we'll be able, because we got to see the bail hearing. That was televised. The prosecutor said she's confident they can find capable jurors again. This will be the fourth jury that we've picked from Tallahassee, because remember, there was 3 trials for the other suspects. Because I think, Luis Rivera, there was no trial for, because he snitched on, I think only Sigfrido and the girlfriend had a trial, and then Charlie would be the third, and then this would be the fourth. So with no trouble, that's what she's saying. We've had a jury. We've been able to get a jury, I think, in 2 or 3 days each time we've tried. And it's been 11 years, so maybe some people forgot. So yeah, this is just a delay tactic. Let's go look to see what y'all are talking about in the chat real quick. We're finishing up. I got 2 more slides left. I think me closing these slides is helping. I think change of venues are dumb. If you commit crime in an area, the area gets to try you. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you there. Yeah, should have never brought it if she was criming. That's gonna be the new objection crime chatter joke, the criming. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, people that were too young. That's a good point. People who are too young and are now able to serve on a jury. Yep. Amy, you could be part of Replay Crew. Yeah, you can be part of it. But thank you for being here, Amy, and supporting. It's a really interesting case. We are at the end of it. You missed the crazy jailhouse calls, but be part of Replay Crew. You could go 2 times speed. I don't know if you'll catch up before it ends, but yeah, definitely worth a watch though, Amy. And it's mostly a lot of just me talking. I didn't really show a lot of pictures, or that you need to like actually be watching, so you can always catch up. You can put on your headphones as you're like, I don't know how many people like to listen to true crime going to bed, but I had to make the stream late night because there's so much going on in the Blake Lively Reynolds during the day that this is the only time for it. Okay, so let me just finish out the stream with let me see, hold on. I believe there was one more delay here, or one more update. But it's so slow. Yeah, I don't know. Now it's stuck. Are you still here? I got the ring of death. Okay, here we go. Y'all, it's not letting me click. Can y'all still hear me? I'm frozen. Okay. Wait, did it unfreeze? No, it's still okay, maybe it did unfreeze. Hold on. Yeah, y'all, I got that little wheel of death. The little colorful wheel of death. I think it's just memory. I'm gonna have to actually restart my computer. I think I can get my Google tabs back up, because that's the reason why I didn't restart it before I started the stream. Because I was like, oh my god, I got like 7 Google tabs all lined up with shows. Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the latest. This is also posted at 2:00. So she tried to do 2 things. She tried to limit the video today, and then it says with just weeks to go until she stands trial for murder, Donna Adelson is asking the judge to limit testimony from 2 investigators in her case. She's, obviously we've read all this. They're saying she's the mastermind. So that's not just something I put. I put question mark because they haven't, said for sure she's not held guilty yet, but they're saying she's a mastermind. In last-minute motions filed on Monday, Donna's attorneys were asking Judge Stephen Everett to exclude testimony from 2 prosecution witnesses and to limit all witnesses from interpreting the contents of emails, recorded phone calls, and text messages. Because in the Charlie Adelson trial, the brother, there was, like I said, remember the code words and stuff like that, that they were being used back and forth in the emails. They were trying to use something about the television set, because she had made a joke that a television set is cheaper than a hitman, like ha ha ha. And then they started to use the TV set as the joke, or like as the key word. So they tried to talk in code, but it just didn't work. And that's how Charlie got caught up too, because I believe the girlfriend was recording phone calls or something like that. It says now Donna's attorneys want to limit the amount of testimony related to the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. They were asking Judge Everett to exclude the opinion testimony of investigator Jason Newell and Special Agent Patrick Sanford. The motion states that in their depositions, Newland and Sanford expressed opinions on the new investigation, but fails to provide any further details about what that investigation entails. In a now sealed motion filed in May, Donna's team had asked to redispose both investigators after learning about wiretaps of conversations between a jailhouse informant and Donna's husband, Harvey Adelson. Oh my God, is he the next one to go down? Hold on, y'all, because wiretaps. Y'all. Can y'all still see this? I'm like, I clicked on the wiretap. Yeah, okay, y'all can see this one. Some explosive new details were revealed when filings were made public. Let's look at what the wiretap stuff is. Sorry, y'all, these were brand new because they just dropped like literally hours ago. And so I had just added them because they weren't in my original show that I put together last night. And then I was like, okay, what's new? Let me see, what is this wiretap stuff? The discovery of what? Hold on. In the defense message to take the depositions, which was redacted and unsealed, previously undisclosed investigative work and wiretaps of conversations between a jailhouse informant and Donna's husband. Donna's attorneys say that the affidavits presented to the judge lied about the content of the conversations between Donna and her husband and alleged that, oh my gosh, are you serious? Are they still talking through the dang jailhouse phones? Did they do what this other case that I'm covering, Larry Milletti, who unalived his wife, he was using other inmates' phone numbers to make calls out to like his uncles and stuff like that. So maybe that's what they were doing, using a jailhouse informant. Okay. The defendant and her spouse were engaged in conversations by of the undersigned cell phone watch to plan harm to Robert Adelson, Catherine McBuna, and the mother of a jailhouse snitch. Okay, the plot thickens. What? Presented to the judge, lied about the content between Donna and her husband and alleged that among the false allegations were accusations. But if they have it on wiretap, what they're saying that these investigators lied about what's on wiretap in jailhouse. Oh, was the jailhouse informant? Why was he wearing a wire? Talking to Donna's husband, the defendant and her spouse. So Donna and Harvey were engaged in conversation by use of the undersigned cell phone. And then it says watch. Was he wearing an Apple Watch? Y'all, to plan harm to Robert Adelson. That's her. Who's Robert Adelson? Harvey's her husband. Who's Robert Adelson? I don't know this, y'all. This is like hot off the press because I didn't know this part. Catherine McBuna. Catherine is the girlfriend. I wonder if they meant Charlie Adelson. Catherine McBuna is the girlfriend that's in the jail of Charlie and the mother of a jailhouse snitch. Donna's defense used those affidavits presented to Judge Everett as evidence of ex parte communications between the judge and the prosecution. Y'all, this trial is going to be super spicy. They wanted to know, y'all, this is, okay, now it's freezing up. It needs to redepose. Okay, this is just going a little haywire, but okay, so we'll definitely be we're going to be covering this case through the trial. So it's not going to be over until, the jury brings in their verdict. So I have one more slide to show, but I don't know if it's going to let me because now all these ads and stuff just froze everything up. Let me just try and close that window and see if that works. I'll try and get back to y'all. Yeah, no, it's not working. I'm trying to close that window. I'm trying to find my way back to y'all for this last slide. This is what happened to there's the wheel of death again. Hopefully it gets me back to y'all. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And like I said earlier, we're here every night, 8 Eastern. Today we started. Wait, y'all, I'm back. Did everybody leave? Okay. The ads are the last to go before it crashed. Okay, y'all, I'm back. It did crash. It crashed. Thanks for staying. Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me now? Am I here? Yes, everybody's still here. Did we make it, y'all? Did we make it through the wheel of death? I hope we did. I hope everyone's still here. Seems like the chat is still going. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Super Sarah. She can hear me. Okay. Let me just get this this last slide up before we go so we can have a proper goodbye. And figure out whether I think we can go ahead and well, let me just do this last slide here. Oh, did I? Okay, I can go into recently closed, I think. Oh, okay. So it was just this one. So it wasn't like that important. It was just the yeah, no, we don't need to see that one. It was just earlier this month the girlfriend tried to appeal. Her appeal finally went through. And I think that's the one that's freezing up because as soon as I pull it up, it freezes. Okay, y'all. Drop in the chat whether you think she's guilty or not guilty as I'm going through this Wheel of Death again. Guilty, not, and obviously this is for entertainment purposes. Everyone is proven innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. It's for entertainment purposes only. But do you guys think that she looks guilty? That she's got a chance? Is this just messy? You could just answer just messy, guilty, not guilty, or what we're thinking about. Trying to get back to y'all in the chat and end it. Oh gosh. Okay. I shouldn't have tried to pull up another window. I should have just ended it. I was already in. All right, y'all. Well, I can't see y'all, but I guess if y'all can still hear me, I'm gonna have to sign off because I can't get back to that window to properly sign off and get to the chat. Let me just give it one more good college try and see if this works. Let me see if this works. No, it's literally not letting me do anything. Y'all, I think it might be is it Wendy Adelson? Like who's freezing up my computer? How did it freeze up so bad? Okay, wait, here we go. If anyone is still here, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try and close all of these. Should I go full Control Alt Delete? Okay, y'all. Whoever is still here, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and come back and see if this works. Here we go. It still shows that I'm live. I think I'm back. I think I'm back, y'all. Yeah, I am. Oh, good night, Sarah. Okay, I'm back, y'all, so I can read the chat really, really quick. Hold on. They all sound guilty. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. It was just having trouble. It says it was having trouble connecting. Can y'all hear me? Is everyone still here? He shouldn't have missed his flight. Yeah, I do one in the morning, so I'll be here at 8 a.m. for the celebrity court chatter. Okay, I'm back. This is my pre-bed routine. Oh, thank you, Christina. Shout out to Christina, who's one of the best mods. Yes, please come back and comment. It does help the algorithm if you just come back and comment on the crazy case. Y'all can, Khaleesi can come in here and say, stop criming. I didn't know any of this because I'm not criming. Some people just don't learn. The wheel got her. Someone said the wheel got her. Okay. Christina said, I feel that she's guilty at this point from what I know as of now. Trying to flee, deaf, guilty, Super Sarah. I don't know if I can. Okay, I can. They all sound guilty. Victoria is like, yeah, they all sound guilty. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. We lost a few of y'all, but that's okay. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Big Girls Don't Crime. Oh my God, that should be another merch. Big Girls Don't Crime. I'm not criming, you're criming. Kenny, you're taking the criming too far. It's hilarious and I love it. And ever since we were on Leanne's channel and she was talking about merch, now I'm like, everything. I want to merch everything. So thank you all for joining me for Mommy Mastermind. It's a crazy case. We will be covering it. It's in a couple weeks. The trial, I believe, in 2 weeks. So, you know, I'll probably be watching it throughout the week. Join me tomorrow for the Brian Koberger sentencing. I might go live during the day. I'm not sure how it works. I don't think you can live stream if it's like, because isn't there like copyright issues? Because I kind of wanted to go live, like a live reaction while the court's going on through the sentencing. But I think you can't do that because of copyright and stuff. So I don't know. I might go live to just like chat with, because we've been through a lot with the Brian Koberger case. If everybody followed it early on, you'll know how crazy it was for those who followed it. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Do it, CJ. That is where the money is. I'm not monetized yet, you guys. This is why I'm doing all these shows Monday through Thursday. The morning celebrity court chatter, and then the evening crime chatter. Because last time y'all were here on Friday, I had 2,000 hours left, and y'all, I only have, I believe it's either 1,300 or 1,100. Because on the analytics, it says different things on the analytics versus the where you go to like the monetization. But so I'm almost close to getting monetized. So tell your friends about the channel, and you know, just show up to watch. Every little hour counts. The replay crew, go watch some of my old videos, other cases. I did that during Karen Reed's trial, so I guess it's okay. Okay, so then you can do that. I'm wondering if you can. But I just think that I want to do it for just like moral support, because I know it's going to be hard listening to the victim impact statements, and just I think it's going to be closure for a lot of us web sleuths who followed it, because I spent every waking moment sleuthing that case, trying to, you know, help. And then when Koberger got arrested, it was really emotional. It's one of the most emotional true crime cases that I've been through, and it was part of the reason why I started to steer away from the true crime a little bit more into the celebrity legal, because I just love reading legal paperwork. So that it was more for me for like emotional support too. So I might be on tomorrow while they're doing sentencing, but definitely tune in 8 Eastern. We're gonna have DFJ. Oh, merch is where the money is. Okay, yes. Okay, I thought you meant the stream. Did that during Karen Reed's trial. Okay, so I already posted that one. Okay. Yeah, thank you everybody. Tomorrow night, DFJ, we're gonna go over Brian Koberger sentencing, a lot more stuff, the Trump statement backing a full confession from Brian Koberger. And then yeah, we're gonna in the morning show, if y'all want to join me for the celebrity legal cases, it's gonna be the Kevin Costner case, which is pretty spicy. It's another Hollywood intimacy coordinator case. You guys might enjoy that. But I do appreciate y'all's support. I really enjoy doing this with y'all, and you know, your support helps me. All right, girly. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. All right, guys. Good night, and see y'all on the next one.